A deputy knocks on a car window. No answer. He tries again. Still quiet. The lock clicks. The door opens. Nothing about this is simple. This is Anderson, Indiana. Fields, two-lane roads, and a courthouse that's seen every kind of day. Our victim is Michela Hinson. She drives buses, school routes, and city transit. It's dependable work. She knows the corners, the regulars, and the kids who wave through the glass. She is also a mother of 2 boys. Her routine is the point. She gets people where they need to go. That's her talent, quiet reliability. On Wednesday, June 26, 2024, a call comes in about a suspicious vehicle at a local cemetery. Inside that SUV are 2 people, a man and a woman. The woman is Michela. The man is her husband, Jeremy Hinson, 49. By the end of this story, he will be sentenced to 75 years in prison. But to understand how we get to that number, we need to walk each step clearly and carefully. At first, it looks like a medical check, a welfare call on a hot day. In hindsight, the cemetery is not just a setting. It's a witness that won't speak. Quick note, this channel tells true crime like a documentary. Clear facts, simple English. No shock for shock's sake. If you value that, tap subscribe now so you don't miss the next case. Deputies arrive at the cemetery after the call about the parked SUV. They see a man and a woman inside. Neither responds to the first knock. On the second knock, the man stirs. He unlocks the door. He steps out. The woman, Michela, doesn't move. Inside the SUV, deputies see signs that this is not a medical emergency. They find shell casings on the floor. They see blood where it should not be. They recover a handgun from the man. It is in his waistband. The woman, Michela Hinson, has been shot multiple times, chest and abdomen. The man with the gun is her husband, Jeremy. He is taken to a hospital for observation because of a suspected overdose. The scene is processed. Evidence is collected. The chain of custody starts. Photographs, measurements, labels, and logs. That's the official beginning. A welfare call that turns into a homicide scene. From here, the case moves from roadside to courtroom. There are questions any reasonable viewer asks. Why a cemetery? How long did he sit in the car beside his wife's body? Did he call for help? The record does not answer each one. Some details remain unclear. That happens in real cases. But other facts are clear. An autopsy shows 7 close-range gunshot wounds. That's important. It's not a stray bullet, not a ricochet, not random. Close range in plain language means that the shooter and the victim were near each other when shots were fired. Deputies also report finding shell casings in the footwell, inside the car. Jeremy has a handgun. These facts line up. They point inward to the car, not outward to an unknown attacker. The case starts to look simple from the outside, but there is still the human layer. Why did he stay? In a later jail visitation, recorded on video, Jeremy talks about the children, the boys. He says he wasn't thinking right. Those words matter for context, not as a legal defense. They are part of the record jurors will see. So is this a clear-cut case with no gray area? Or is there still something we haven't seen? That question carries us to the first, real point of no return. Second knock. Lock clicks. Door opens. Handgun recovered. Autopsy confirms close range. Murder charge filed. The story can't go back. Let's be clear about the charge. In Indiana, murder means knowingly or intentionally killing another human being. Prosecutors also file a firearm enhancement. That enhancement is a separate legal add-on. If proven to the jury, it can add up to 20 years on top of the base sentence. It tells the court and the public that using a gun is not just the method. It is an extra harm the law wants to count. Jeremy is held. Court dates stack up. Motions are filed. Detectives and crime lab technicians prepare to testify. The defense can challenge procedures, timelines, or state of mind. But the core facts, the setting, the weapon, the close range, the stay in the car, are not flimsy. They're fixed. Here's the road so far in order. Suspicious SUV at a cemetery. Man and woman inside. Knock. Unlock. Woman is unresponsive, later confirmed deceased. Shell casings found inside the car. Handgun recovered from the man. Autopsy confirms 7 close-range shots. Man taken for medical observation, then booked. Charges: murder plus firearm enhancement. Remember, we center the victim. Michela is more than a case file. She is a worker, a mother, a neighbor. Her death changes a family, a workplace, and a community. That stays in frame.
Trials move slowly, and for a reason. Each piece must be put on the table in a way jurors can trust. The prosecution brings the timeline, the cemetery call, the approach, the knocks, the unlock. They show photos of the interior. Again, no gore, just markers where shell casings were, the layout of seats, the position of items. They enter the autopsy findings: 7 wounds, close range. They play the jail visitation clip where Jeremy mentions the boys and says he wasn't thinking clearly. Those words don't erase intent, they inform the emotional picture. The defense can argue state of mind, intoxication, or lack of planning. They can question forensic details, exact distances, angles, or whether the position of casings proves sequence. Their job is to test the state's story and make the jury hesitate. Even so, the main structure holds. When jurors return, they give 2 answers. Verdict: guilty of murder. Finding: firearm enhancement proven. That second decision matters for sentencing. It widens the range. The case moves to the judge for the final number. Date: September 23, 2025. The judge hears from both sides. He consults the pre-sentence report. He can weigh aggravating and mitigating factors. Aggravators can include the number of shots, the closeness, the context. Mitigators might include lack of prior violent record or expressions of remorse. The judge sentences Jeremy Hinson to 55 years for murder. Then he adds 20 years for the firearm enhancement. They are consecutive, stacked, not overlapping. Total, 75 years. He goes to prison. Michela does not come back. The headline that spread was simple and unforgettable. Man who killed his wife and stayed next to her dead body in a car is sentenced. The words "stayed next to her" stick in the mind. People argue about that part. Was staying remorse, shock, confusion because of substances? We cannot know the inside of another person's mind in those minutes. What the record shows is this: he did not run. He also did not call it in. He remained until someone else noticed the SUV and called. It is possible to feel 2 truths at once. Number 1, he chose to fire a gun 7 times at close range. Number 2, he spoke later about his children and said he wasn't thinking right. Both can be real, and the law still has to act. Why a cemetery? We don't have a clean answer. How long did he stay? The public record doesn't give a precise duration. Sometimes important stories contain those blanks. We mark them and we don't fill them with guesswork. This is what violence does to ordinary systems. A bus route loses a driver who knew every stop. A school district shifts schedules to cover. Co-workers remember small things: which cup she used, which radio station she liked during early routes. Two boys lose their mother. The same two boys also lose the father who raised them. The court's number, 75 years, is not a solution to any of that. It is a boundary the state draws to say, this is how seriously we take a life taken by gunfire. Most homicides don't look like movies. They look like a normal day that turns sideways in under a minute. A trigger moves under a few pounds of pressure. Life doesn't return.
Here are the hard pieces again, without drama. Autopsy, 7 close-range shots. Scene, shell casings inside the SUV. Person, handgun recovered from Jeremy's waistband. Statement, in a recorded visit, he says he wasn't thinking right and asks about the boys. Jury, guilty of murder, firearm enhancement proven. Judge, 55 plus 20, consecutive, 75. Facts speak, but they don't always tell why. Trials answer legal questions: what happened, who did it, with what intent. Trials do not fully answer emotional questions: exactly what words were said or how long someone sat in shock. We respect that limit. We don't fill the gaps with fantasies, we leave them marked as unknown. June 26, 2024. Call about suspicious SUV at Forrestville Cemetery. Deputies find Michela deceased, Jeremy inside with a handgun, and shell casings in the car. He's taken for medical observation and then booked. Mid-2024 to mid-2025. Forensics, filings, hearings. Jail visitation recording becomes part of the case file. August 21st, 2025. Jury convicts Jeremy of murder and finds the firearm enhancement proven. September 23rd, 2025. Judge sentences Jeremy to 55 years for murder plus 20 for the enhancement, 75 total, consecutive. After months of filings and days of testimony, after exhibits, diagrams, and the quiet focus of 12 jurors, the judge reads the sentence, a base term for murder increased by the firearm enhancement, stacked to reflect the law's view that the gun matters as its own harm, and the final total settles over the room like a weight everyone expects, but nobody enjoys holding. He is taken away. Remember Michela for her work and her care. She kept schedules that helped other people live their lives. Remember that the case is not a puzzle to solve for excitement. It is a record of harm and a record of accountability. Guns turn conflict into final outcomes in seconds. The firearm enhancement is a policy choice. The state counts the presence of a gun as extra harm. Regret can be real and still not erase responsibility. Staying at the scene is not the same as calling for help. Two things can be true. He can be a father who loves his sons. He can also be the man who killed their mother. The court has to sentence the act, not the wish. Here's the question I want your take on. No shouting, just reasons. In a case like this, where the killing is intimate and the evidence is strong, should sentencing put more weight on the brutality and permanence of the act and on the use of a gun, or on remorse and the possibility of change across decades? Where do you land, and why? If you choose differently under slightly different facts, tell me which facts would move you. If thoughtful, clear storytelling matters to you, subscribe. We make these for people who want truth steady, not sensational. Share this with someone who values careful reporting. Every share and comment helps more than you think.